Hey guys, and welcome to the first ever episode of Talktendo.
Boom, 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 boom.
My name is Bailey Ardrey, and I'm joined today by my co-host Christian Padierna.
Hello, guys.
And we are so excited to be bringing you the first ever episode of Talktendo. We have been talking about Talktendo for a pretty long time now, and to see it all come together is really exciting for both of us.
Yes, it is. And specifically why, you might be wondering, why is it exciting for them? And that is because Nintendo and gaming is pretty much the basis of our friendship.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say that, it all kind of started because Christian and I go to the same university, and we both came in an early arrival program, and I was filling up my water bottle, and we really hadn't talked up to this point. I was filling up my water bottle, and I had these Earthbound stickers on my water bottle.
And I was like, hey, bro, I see those Earthbound stickers. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, and I was thinking, this guy knows what Earthbound is, and if you don't know, Earthbound is a pretty niche game. Not a ton of people know about it. I was like, we're going to be best friends.
And since then, I've been kicking his butt in Mario Kart.
Yeah. We both found out we had Switches. Mario Kart has become a huge competition between us. But anyways, now we are bringing you a podcast about the thing that we really love, which is Nintendo. So, Christian, what is Talktendo?
Talktendo is a platform for us to be able to bring you Nintendo and other sort of gaming news.
Right.
So it'll be bi-monthly. And the first podcast of the month will be something like this that you have today listening to right now. The other podcast...
Yeah, like a regular Talktendo episode.
Yeah, regular Talktendo episode. And the other thing is something that we would like to call Talktendo Selects.
Right. So if the first podcast of the month is Talktendo, the second podcast of the month will be Talktendo Selects. And a Talktendo Select is basically our way of being able to talk about whatever we want. We select the topic, and some of the topics we've been throwing around is we want to do one on Cartoon Network. We'd like to do one on maybe the Marvel Universe, like movies and TV shows, just other things that we love besides Nintendo. So that will be in our Talktendo Selects episode. So we're really excited to bring you content that maybe isn't just Nintendo and gaming related with the Selects.
Yeah, and that'll probably be just a little bit more freeform for us to just throw something out there.
Right, yeah.
A little bit more discussion based.
Yep, and that's just our way of making the podcast more holistic for you guys. To start off here, we wanted to just answer the quintessential question for video gamers, and that is, Christian, what is your favorite video game?
Well, it's actually funny that I'm on the podcast because I don't play video games.
Yeah, I totally forgot. You actually don't play video games.
I don't. I only play Yahtzee, Dominoes, Monopoly.
Yeah, you're a big board game guy.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty boring. Oh, jeez.
Did you just say that to me?
I did. Yeah.
Board games are life, dude.
Well, I mean, life, speaking of life, is that one of the board games you play?
Absolutely not. Life is hated amongst us board game community-based people.
Oh, jeez. Why is that?
Dominoes is the better substitute for the game.
Dominoes is a substitute for life?
Yeah. Think about your own life. You can substitute it for Domino's pizza.
That is true, actually. You can't do that. Okay, well.
All right, well, okay, guys. If I actually had to pick a video game, one of these video games, quote unquote,
right.
I'd probably say Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Why is that? Art style, and I love the art style. Many people love it for that Toon Link, iconic Toon Link.
Right.
And we saw some of the Breath of the Wild influences of the art style. It has a compelling story, simple, and like the other stories just retold, but I just find it so charming. And we're at the sea. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, sailing around in that game is so fun.
Yeah.
When you see an island in the distance and you're just like, I'm going to go there and see what's there, it's so cool. I love sailing. And not to mention that music. Yeah, oh my gosh, that music.
But that, you know what, Billy? That really brings us to what's your favorite game?
My favorite video game of all time has to be Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. I grew up playing the game with my dad a lot. We would run upstairs to the attic, which is where we played our video games. It's not kind of weird. It's where we played our video games, and we played double player Mario and Luigi, Super Mario World. I would say I know everything about that game. I know it like the back of my hand, and it is just, the art style is beautiful. It still holds up today. The music is great.
The controls are tight as well.
The controls are super tight, and it's very puzzly. It's kind of like a puzzly Mario game because there are secret exits, secret pathways to things on the world map.
There's so many different ways to maneuver in the world.
Yep. and I love it for that. So yes, definitely Super Mario World is my favorite video game. So with that question out of the way, we've got a great episode for you coming up.
Do.
Regularly in Talktendo episodes, we're going to cover the news, what has happened in the previous week. So let's just jump right in. What is the big news, Christian?
Well, the big news, many of you probably might have heard, we're going to talk about Pokemon right now.
Pokemon.
Jump in with some Pokemon. Got some leaks here.
Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Where did these leaks come from? How did this all come about?
So these leaks originated a few months back, April 1st, on the website 4chan, a forum website. Mm-hmm. Of course, many people did not take this seriously because it was on 4chan.
Yeah, I mean, for one, it's 4chan. And then also when
April
it came
Fools.
out, right? Yeah, so the whole leak came out on April Fool's Day, so a lot of people were just like, oh, this is just an April Fool's joke. It's just a gag. Turns out it might not be.
And recently we saw that the domains for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee were bought by a company that often buys Nintendo's domains for them.
Right. So like CSC domain, it's a domain company and they buy domains, which is a website, by the way, for Nintendo. So they recently bought or like
purchase.
I don't even know if it buys it, but like they claimed the website for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And this kind of put the nail in the coffin for a lot of fans. This seems to be a legit leak. Even though it has not been officially announced by Nintendo, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, it seems to be real. Yeah,
and looking back over these past few months, we've actually seen some teases from the director.
Right, yeah.
We've had a picture of Pikachu and Eevee together, and you know, of course, not many people would think about that in the moment. Pikachu and Eevee are both very iconic Pokemon.
Yeah.
I would say that they're both kind of like the mascot almost. Of course, Pikachu waning in more.
Yeah, the director of Pokemon on his Twitter page has been posting a lot of these pictures of Pikachu and Eevee. Now it kind of makes sense, right? Because these leaks have come out, and it looks like he's been teasing this the whole time, and it just adds even more credibility to this leak. Along with the leak came a whole list of things about the game.
Right.
And Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee seem to be yellow remakes. But maybe not remakes. Maybe like just a revisiting of Gen 1.
And I think that's what we're probably going to get in the essence of it being a remake. I hope we're going to see the starter behind the character. Like in Yellow, we had Pikachu walking behind.
Yeah, and that's actually was a part of the leak.
The whole time.
Yeah. Is that you'll be able to have Eevee or Pikachu walking behind you. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, me too. And I especially love that in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Just having my Pokemon behind me. It was very charming and felt kind of immersive.
Yeah, a little intimate too. Like you're carrying it brings you back to those Ash Ketchum days of Pikachu being out of his Pokeball all the time. And yeah, I would really love to see that for sure. So what do you think about revisiting Kanto?
I think it's a good move, especially with Pokemon Go in the recent years kind of bringing back that demographic of the kids that actually grew up in the 90s with Pokemon. So we've seen that kind of bring them back, but also I think this is a way to try to tie them in with the Switch. I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a conservative move by the Pokemon Company. They definitely want to bring in that demographic because we've seen with Sun and Moon recently, it's gotten a little complicated. Like, we're getting to dimension shifts, and it's just gotten kind of weird for some Pokemon fans, and maybe they've decided to put the game down altogether. Going back to Kanto, going back to what we know, I think is a great way for them to pull new fans in. For some fans, though, for hardcore fans, I would say maybe this is actually not what they wanted to see.
Right.
I think a lot of fans wanted to see Gen 8, which is the next generation of Pokemon, new starters, new game mechanics, but with Kanto, that wouldn't be the case.
Right. It's also dangerous to just hop right into Gen 8, I think, because we've seen what happens when Game Freak thinks they need to add in a bunch of Pokemon, and this ultimately results in lower quality Pokemon.
Right.
So I think not only visiting Kanto is a good conservative choice to bring in that demographic, but it also gives them more time to put more of their effort into creating a successful and compelling Gen 8.
Right. Quality Pokemon designs, that they have taken their time on. And I would say they're working on that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably just to get their feet wet with the Switch. We're going to see a big Gen 8 game. I don't think we need to worry about that. But yeah, I'm really excited about revisiting Kanto. So
Yes.
another part of the leak, though, was that there might, and this is a little bit more controversial, is there might be Pokemon Go integration. What do you think about that?
At the moment, I'm going to stay optimistic about it because it's Pokemon and Game Freak hasn't really let me down. It depends how much of the integration there is. I'd like to see it more as a secondary tool, maybe in the terms of the Pokewalker that we saw with Heart Gold and Soul Silver, kind of like a leveling up pedometer system or just something off to the side, really.
Yeah, I don't think that they should require Pokemon Go integration, and I don't think they will. I think it'll be like an optional thing that you can opt into. But what's interesting about Pokemon Go is it's a very simplified version of Pokemon. So does that mean we're going to get a more simplified Pokemon for this Switch version?
Well, hopefully we don't see a more simplified version because the issue with X and Y was it was too easy of a game. And we saw with Sun and Moon that it was too hand-holdy as well.
Yeah.
And I don't want Pokemon to go in that direction. I'd like it to be more balanced.
I totally agree. Yeah, I don't want to see a simplified Pokemon. So hopefully the Go integration is optional, and hopefully it doesn't simplify the game. And if it does all of that, I might even try it out, you know? I mean, if it's good integration, I'm totally down.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see. Of course, this is all just rumors at this point, and we're going to have even more in-depth coverage when the game is actually announced. But one last thing about this Pokemon game is there was a picture leaked a few months back, and this picture showed what people initially wrote it off because they said, okay, that just looks like Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, and people said it's fake. Well, that might not be the case anymore because the picture actually shows a Pokemon trainer riding a Lapras with an Eevee on his head. So this lends a little more credibility to it because this could be Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah, and as well as that, we can see in the bottom right of the image what looks to be a Gyarados tail.
Yeah.
So that kind of adds more to it as well.
Right.
And the art, it's a little bit of a fuzzy picture, so we can't really determine if this might be a final of anything for the art style or just what we might be getting.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure, but it does look like they're kind of taking the Sun and Moon art style and kind of up-resing it, which also might turn off some people. But let's keep in mind, Pokemon has never been the biggest game in terms of graphics.
Yeah.
They usually take a pretty simplistic, but yet, you know, still stylistic.
It's still charming.
Yeah,
It's still
charming.
nice to look at.
Yeah. So I don't think we have to worry too much about that. But this picture leak does seem to be maybe more realistic at this point. It might be real. And if it is, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see for the official announcement.
I'm definitely interested to see what the future holds for Pokemon.
Absolutely, yeah.
But that does beg the question, which one are you going to get?
Oh, yeah. So this is always fun. I love that there are two versions of Pokemon. Me and my brother usually switch off, and for the past 2 generations, he's picked, so it's definitely my turn to pick. And I am taking Pikachu because at first I was thinking maybe Eevee, but the Ash Ketchum in me, having a Pikachu potentially walking behind me in game is just too much to pass up.
Do you and your brother usually trade?
Trade Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I wouldn't trade my Pikachu if that's what you're getting at. No. Yeah. What about you? What version are you going to get?
I am an adult now with money.
Yeah.
I will be getting both.
Nice.
I hated as a kid not being able to get both. So I would definitely probably be pre-ordering both as soon as they're announced.
Awesome. Yeah, I might end up caving and getting both too. The next bit of news that we have for you, segueing off of Pokemon, is that the Switch has been hacked. It's a hardware hack, so
what does it mean that the Switch has been hacked and how is this dangerous? Well, how was the Switch hacked? There is, on the Switch where you slide in the Joy-Con, that little section, you're able to take out a piece and use a little plastic jig to mess around with it.
Yeah.
And what this enables people to do is once they boot up the Switch, they can put in some button codes and get to the startup. People are putting Linux on their Switch.
Yeah.
And this also enables them to download emulators and emulate games like GameCube games with the Dolphin emulator.
Right. Yeah, so there have been screenshots of and videos of people playing GameCube games on their Switch by hacking it. This is kind of a big deal because GameCube games on the go sounds amazing.
It's very tempting. As soon as I saw this, I was like, I might as well hack my Switch.
Yeah, and of course there are pros and cons to hacking your Switch, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get the GameCube games potentially if you do it all correctly. You also lose your warranty.
Yeah, definitely.
Nintendo's not gonna work on your Switch if you hack into it, and it's just kind of dangerous, which is a shame because we might not be seeing GameCube games on the Switch from Nintendo, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I've been looking forward to since the announcement of the Switch, potentially playing the GameCube games I grew up with and loved on my Switch. But in recent news, it has been confirmed by Nintendo that Virtual Console is dead.
Right, and the Virtual Console was the platform that Nintendo used to allow us to play our retro games on the Wii and the Wii U. So you could play original Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games, and Nintendo 64 games. Well, Nintendo has announced, that, like you said, that appears to not be coming back. At least not under the name of Virtual Console.
Yeah, this doesn't mean that retro games on the Switch will not be there. It will just take a different form, but this really depends on the form. And what seems to be taking its place maybe is Nintendo Switch Online.
Right. So Nintendo Switch Online was officially announced this week by Nintendo. Nintendo Switch Online is a $20 platform for a year, right?
Yeah.
There are other prices.
To get into pricing semantics, really, 1 month, and these are pretty good prices, I gotta say. 1 month is $3.99, 3 months is $7.99, 12 months is $19.99 for a single person. But we also see this family membership for 12 months for $34.99. And that fits up to 7 people. So you already know, I've been talking to my friends, trying to see if I can get that family deal going.
Right. Yeah, so what Nintendo Switch Online is basically going to allow Nintendo to do is give us a better online service to play our games on. So it allows them to update their servers and make them run even faster so that we can get into Mario Kart games faster, especially for the Smash Bros. Game coming out soon. All around better internet. But also they have announced Nintendo NES games, the classics, alongside this online program.
So what we have confirmed right now for this NES Classic Edition, Nintendo has announced that they will be adding Balloon Fight, Dr. Mario, Super Mario Bros. 3, Donkey Kong, Ice Climber, The Legend of Zelda, Mario Brothers, Soccer, Super Mario Brothers, and Tennis as the first launch games for this online catalog with online capability, mind you, so you can play with your friends. But also, they will be adding more to this list on a regular basis.
Right. So this begs the question, is this the replacement for the Virtual Console?
It could be. And honestly, taking this kind of like Spotify / Apple Music-esque approach where
Netflix,
where you pay for the service and you get to use it. You know what? I'll take that. And it doesn't sound too bad to me. It doesn't turn me off or anything. I would like that, but I would also like to buy my game. I wouldn't like this quote-unquote leasing the game or renting it, really.
So I'm gonna not a little bit of a disagreement here. Like I agree with you that I would like to purchase my games. Netflix is great, but I also like to own my own movies.
Right.
And in the same vein, I would love to just buy A Link to the Past on my Switch and have it, you know? So we'll have to see what this Nintendo Online form takes. If it will be that you get a game a month and then it goes away, that's kind of disappointing to me. Like, I want to be able to purchase those games and have them forever. So we will just have to see. And also, they've only said original Nintendo games. I want to see Super Nintendo. I want to see Nintendo 64. I want to take those games everywhere.
I want to see GameCube games. I want to play Luigi's Mansion. But it's been announced for the 3DS, so what is up with that, Nintendo?
I know. Maybe they will announce some way for us to buy the games, and I really hope so. And the last part of the Nintendo Switch Online is cloud backups.
Yeah, so we're going to have cloud backups, which is... it's kind of weird how they're having cloud backups with the price wall in front of it.
Right.
I feel like cloud backups should just be something that every Switch owner has.
Yeah, so a cloud backup is just like backing up your saves, right? So if your Nintendo Switch, for some reason, deleted your saves, if you lost them, you could restore those from a cloud backup. You're going to get that with Nintendo Switch Online, but you're also going to be paying for it, which is kind of weird. Like you said, I think that the cloud backups should be something that every Switch user gets. They have had some backlash from this announcement. Maybe they will decide, okay, this should be something that every user gets, and they'll just roll that out to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it is good to look at this critically and try to analyze it, but also I feel like we can trust Nintendo right now with the direction that they've been going in. So I guess I'm just going to say that I'm going to stay optimistic on what Nintendo has. I'm going to wait for E3, see what they say.
Yep, and I am too. So
speaking of E3,
let's
go into it.
Yeah, so this is the meat and potatoes. That was all the news that we have to cover this week. But the real big topic that we want to cover is, of course, E3. E3 is coming up really soon. So what does Nintendo announce for E3?
So what we have is the Treehouse.
Yeah, I think they broke it down into 4 pillars, right? So the first one is the Nintendo video presentation. And they've been doing this every year. It's usually like a 45-minute pre-recorded video where they just announce a whole bunch of games. It's their bread and butter. It's the thing that gets us most excited about E3 is what are they going to announce? What are they going to show us? And all of that happens in their online video presentation.
Exactly.
And then the Treehouse.
Right. The Treehouse, we're going to see the games played a little bit.
The Nintendo Treehouse is like Nintendo of America developers. Yeah. And they just come in and they play the games that have been announced. Sometimes they even announce games.
Yeah.
And they do that like all day for like 3 days straight. So they're going to have that again.
I wish I had that job.
I know. Being on the Nintendo Treehouse would be amazing. And then also the third and fourth pillars are the tournaments.
Yes.
So they have the Smash Bros. Invitational, and that is with the pro players. Yeah, they're bringing in pro players to play the brand new Smash Brothers game.
So you'll see me there, guys, and you'll also see me at the other one, the Splatoon World Championships. And that's going to be interesting to see. I can't wait to see how they're going to divvy that up and just have the competition.
Yeah, the World Championships, I think, has actually already started. You signed up for it, and you had to start playing, and then they narrow it down to the top players. So that one's kind of cool because it's open to everybody.
Right, I know that I'm in it.
Right, of course. You're like a Splatoon god.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are the 4 pillars that Nintendo has announced. The video presentation, Treehouse, the 2 tournaments. Okay. That is what they've officially announced. But along with the video presentation, they have announced an emphasis on the new Super Smash Bros. Game.
Right.
So that is what we know for sure is coming. So let's get right into our Super Smash Brothers predictions. What characters?
Super Smash Brothers! Oh my gosh, I am so excited. We're gonna get Immortal Jack from Resident Evil 7, Agumon from Pokemon. Everyone loves
Samurai
Agumon
Jack,
from
but
Pokemon.
instead of the sword, he's got a lightsaber.
No. We're gonna get King the Dog from Earthbound, and then we're gonna get.
Oh, don't forget about the Red Bull.
Oh, yeah. He's so iconic. He's going to get Mario wings, and Mario's going to jump up and kill everyone with the fireballs. But then we're also going to have racist Hulk Hogan. He's been in the media for years now being racist.
Just fans have been dying for that character. And not to mention a Kleenex box.
Oh, yeah. So, and then Bowser's going to blow his nose, but he's going to be like, achoo, and then all the characters are going to die. But,
right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can't forget Aquafina water bottle.
Dude, Aquafina water bottle has to be in this thing. If he is not in, I mean, people are going to freak.
People are going to be...
And
people won't buy the game.
Don't even get me started on if they put Dasani in there. I do not.
I'm not buying the game at all. Nope. I'm actually going to buy all the games at GameStop and break them. Because fans have been raving for the Aquafina water bottle since bottled water's been a thing.
Aquafina water bottle is a really fast character, but I think it's time to see a slow character. I'm thinking a koala with pistols.
A koala with pistols? Oh, that would be dynamic. That would perfectly balance the game that we have seen, but we also need a character that only its move are counters.
Right. Yeah. And then but also though, and then Yoda comes in, right? And Yoda hands Samurai Jack his lightsaber, but Samurai Jack hands him his sword. So then like switch, and then like, yo, we're bros.
And then he cuts off his head. But no, actually, no. Let's take all the PlayStation characters, and change the name to something way cooler than Smash, like PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah, like let's put Master Chief in there, like all the PlayStation characters, right? Master Chief, Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell, GLaDOS,
Bailey,
Cuphead, right?
Bailey,
the Sea of Thieves pirate.
What are you doing?
He plays his instruments and he kills, and then like Ezo Adora.
What do you... Stop!
What?
None of those characters are PlayStation.
They're not?
They're Sega. Smash canceled! At this time, Talktendo is experiencing technical difficulties. We will resume shortly.
Hey guys, welcome back. So let's talk about Smash Bros.
Yes, let's. Is it going to be a port?
Yeah, so that's the question on everybody's minds right now. Is this going to be a port of the Wii U version that we saw? And personally, I don't think so. And for anybody that doesn't know, a port is just bringing the Wii U version over to Switch.
It's what you saw with Mario Kart 8. It's, you know, it's kind of just like adding stuff to the game, porting it over, having a game on that console.
And yeah, so I don't think that this Smash Brothers game is going to be a port. I think that if it was a port, they would have said that up front. Because what they're making it seem like is that it's a new game.
Right, and they're debuting it. I mean, it's going to be the main thing at their E3 conference.
Right. So if it wasn't a new game, I feel like that would deflate it quite a bit.
Immensely.
Yeah, like if we come into E3 and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, this is an enhanced port. I feel like people are going to my heart's going to sink a little bit.
Nintendo stock would plummet.
Yeah, because the general consensus right now in the gaming community is that this is a new game.
Yes.
And I think it is, and I really hope it is, because they definitely have a lot of potential here.
We know Breath of the Wild Link's going to be in it. We saw him in the trailer. We know Splatoon characters are going to be in it. So it just makes sense that this is not a port. It will most definitely, for sure, I'm saying that right now, will be a new Smash game.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree. And the logo's different.
Yeah, guys.
I mean, I don't need any more confirmation.
And since this is going to be a new Smash game, what do we want to see in it?
Yeah, so there are a lot of things that could return. There's a lot of potential for them to change up the Smash formula. As far as returning things, I really want 8-player Smash again. Maybe even up it to 10 or 12.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool to see. And hopefully, I just want to see more of that. I hope they bring back Smash Tour personally. I like that a lot. I like getting items and whatnot and just building up a portfolio of characters to fight with. And
kind of playing off of that, which is Smash Tour is more of a single player mode. Another single player mode I know a lot of fans really want to see, and I want to see, and I know you want to see it too, is a story mode akin to Subspace Emissary on Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii.
Just port the original.
Yeah, for those that I want a new one. I'm not gonna agree with you on that.
I just want space. I just want it.
Just play Brawl.
I just want that.
But no, Subspace Emissary, for those of you that don't know, was the single player bit on Brawl where it brings all of the Nintendo characters together, interacting together in a story. And that is just so cool to see. Like, Nintendo has been building up these characters, some of them for 30 plus years, and to see them on the same screen together is like, I'm like a little kid in a candy store. Like, it is so exciting. So I really want to see it.
Just having that same formula with the Switch and everything coming up, it would be a dream.
Yeah, and it kind of comes back to the reason why those Wii U reveals were so exciting, because it was all of those Nintendo characters battling it out in like a CG trailer, and it was so cool. I want them to take those ideas and just translate it completely into something I can play.
Exactly. And it also brings the characters to life more. It feels
absolutely.
It's just great.
Yep, I definitely want to see that. So lastly, I think it's important that the online really works this time.
Yeah.
The Wii U version, it was okay, but it takes a long time to get into a match, and a lot of times it can get really laggy and glitchy, and sometimes I was even kicked out of matches. It takes a long time to get in matches. Overall, it just needs to be overhauled.
Yeah, I already have iffy Wi-Fi, so last time I tried to play an online match, every time I went to do a move, it took like 4 seconds.
Really?
Yes, it was awful.
Yeah. And so hopefully, with what we talked about with the Nintendo Switch Online, there's a lot of rumors that maybe these will release side by side. So hopefully they are going to interlink these in a way that's going to make the online for Super Smash Bros. For Switch just such a better experience. and that has me really excited.
Something that I want to see in this Smash as well, since we're on the topic of what could be different, is how they introduce the characters.
Yeah.
I think a good formula would kind of be going back to the roots with Melee and having the actual new challenger approaching.
Okay, yeah. So I agree with you. Do you want to see who the characters are before the game comes out? Because with the Wii U version, they announced all of the characters before the game even was released. Do you want to find it out in game?
No, but I understand why they do that, right? Like, I'm going to buy the game regardless, but I know a lot of the selling point is, well, what characters are going to be?
Yeah, it does definitely creates a lot of hype.
I think we can have both, right?
Right.
I think they can kind of hint towards, like, oh, maybe you'll see somebody from this franchise. But that also kind of gives it away. What I would prefer is not knowing. Just knowing the basic set of characters that we're going to see.
Yeah.
And then them maybe having the kind of like the Overwatch League style where we see players starting to roll in.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about this. This Smash Bros. Game has the potential to be very different.
Yes.
And a lot of people think that because it's coming up so quickly, I mean, Smash for Wii U was 3 years ago, and these Smash games take a long time to make. People are thinking, myself included, maybe they will launch the game with maybe 20 characters. Mm-hmm. Just like picture this, right? They launch the game, 20 characters, the main characters.
Right.
And then every 2 weeks or every month, a new character is revealed and then launched. And this is like the Overwatch model, the League of Legends model, where new characters are constantly being introduced. And I think this has a lot of potential, and I think it could create a lot of energy around the game as a whole. I would like to see it personally.
I think it would stitch the community closer together as well. And people would be guessing like, oh, what's the next character going to be?
Right.
Oh, this might hint to something else. And really it's a way to change the formula, as we said earlier, but also just rejuvenate everything with that.
Right. And for me personally, I would love to see them... I think the Wii U version was great. I love how many characters we have, but it's kind of overwhelming sometimes. Like 50 characters, I have not played them all, and I've played quite a bit of Smash on Wii U. If they release the game with 20 characters, I could play all of them, you know, and then every time they release a new character, I get to know that character. I can play that character. It feels a little more bite-sized and manageable. So it's definitely a possibility. Nintendo's never really done something like that.
Yeah.
Well, Splatoon maybe might be the closest comparison with the
true,
updates
with the items,
constantly. Yeah.
The maps.
But I think they could do this, and I think they can make it really, really great. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, and lastly, with this Overwatch League model, do you think we'll see loot boxes?
That does kind of beg the question, as well as we saw on the Animal Crossing mobile a loot box type thing in the game. I don't think Nintendo would do that.
Yeah.
I think in Animal Crossing, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Almost. It's not like
they needed to monetize the game. Yeah. It was free. But...
And it's not like it's dangerous. It's just stuff for the house. You know what I mean? Or it's just like skins and stuff. It's not like stuff that'll improve the game quality or anything in that matter. So I think that approach for Animal Crossing was not dangerous. But in Smash, that would be dangerous. But in the past, Nintendo has proven to be consumer-friendly, family-friendly. They know a lot of younger kids play their games.
Right.
And I don't think they would go down that route, especially considering all the controversy lately.
Yep, I think they're going to avoid it. We could see, but we'll just have to wait and see. I think we need to jump right into our character predictions, too. So specifically, what Nintendo characters do you want to see this time around?
I think we're going to see the new Fire Emblem character.
Yeah.
Because that new game's definitely coming out. I just got to say it.
Yeah.
And we usually see the new Fire Emblem character. I think they did a good job of Corn and Robin, but I think they're going to take those out, put in the new ones. Yeah,
Corn and Robin were the characters from the Fire Emblem game at the time. Mm-hmm. It makes so much sense that they would do the same thing with this upcoming Fire Emblem game for Switch. I totally agree with you. And in that same vein, I think that we will see a new Pokemon character too.
Yes, same here.
And because of the rumors now that we know that it's probably going to be Kanto, I think that they're going to stick with the Sun and Moon Pokemon, and I think it's going to be Decidueye. That is my prediction.
Same here. It's funny, I had the same Pokemon, but I think that because I think they need to represent the new generation, and Decidueye would be perfect.
Yeah.
For that. And for those of you who don't know the Pokemon Decidueye, it's the grass starter, full evolution. It's Decidueye. You can check out Decidueye in Pokken Tournament, which is sweet.
Yeah, it's the owl Pokemon with the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
He's super cool. And yeah, he's in Pokken. So if they've already put him in Pokken, he's already in a fighting game. At the same time, I think they will pull Greninja. I think Greninja had his time on the Wii U, and it's time for a new Pokemon Final Evolution to come in.
Yeah, they might also take out Lucario, but I don't know about that.
Lucario's been in for a while, so that would maybe surprise me. I think that Charizard has more of a chance to be pulled.
You think so?
We'll just have to wait and see. I could see them doing either way. They might leave Charizard and Lucario in and just add Decidueye.
That's true.
The thing that I will say for sure is I'm pretty sure they're going to pull Greninja.
That as well, though, I want to go back to my earlier statement about Breath of the Wild Link being confirmed. Another thing that I want to think about is, will they have Breath of the Wild Zelda? But does that mean this is a new leaf, a new generation in Nintendo and in Smash?
For Zelda.
Yeah, for Zelda, where we get rid of the old and we replace them with the new,
Yeah, I definitely think that it will be. We've seen, as you said, Breath of the Wild, Link was confirmed. I'm super excited to see maybe a new moveset for Link.
Yes.
Long overdue. And same for Zelda. I think it's going to be really cool to see Breath of the Wild Zelda. But, yeah, that begs the question. Ganondorf. Is he going to be a Breath of the Wild version?
Because as those of you who have played Breath of the Wild, how is Calamity Ganon going to fit on the stage?
Right.
So they might have... I could theorize here all day, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yep, we'll just have to wait and see. It will definitely be interesting to see what they do with Ganondorf and also Sheik. I mean, will Sheik come back? Because Sheikahs are in Breath of the Wild, but Sheik herself
was Zelda in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, and they're trying to...
if you haven't played Ocarina
of Time, you need to get on that. But they are trying to turn over this new leaf for Zelda, potentially. So we might not see Sheik, but I think that we are finally going to see Waluigi in Smash.
Is long overdue.
Long overdue. Waluigi needs to be in Smash.
So much... Waluigi has such a cold following now.
He does.
Especially on the internet.
He's kind of a meme. Yeah. And I feel like Nintendo knows that he's a meme, and they could just capitalize on that.
They could just meme the heck out of his character.
If they announce Waluigi for Smash, the internet will blow up. Indefinitely. We've seen it before, and it's just going to create so much hype around the game because Waluigi's been very underrepresented.
He has.
In lots of games, but... Of course, in Smash.
We only usually see him in the party games and the sport games.
He doesn't even have his own game.
I know.
So
and Wario hasn't had his own game in a long time.
Yeah.
We only have the WarioWare. But
it is criminal.
Other than that, I hope they bring back Ice Climbers. I know they took them out in the Wii U version because of hardware limitations, but I think it's time to add them back in. I
totally agree. Yeah, the Ice Climbers didn't come to the Wii U and 3DS version, which was a big letdown for some people, but the Switch is a brand new system. It is totally capable of running two Ice Climbers. So I think we'll see them. Yeah. I think that Nintendo knows that fans were disappointed and they're going to bring them back. I think we'll see them too. I think that Nintendo's had a lot of new IPs recently, actually. Mm-hmm. Splatoon has already been officially announced. Super excited for that. But I think akin to Splatoon, we will see ARMS characters appear in this new Smash Bros. It just makes a lot of sense. They're already fighting characters. Yeah. Their spring arms could be used as maybe long range. Right. They could be more of a long range character. Maybe like I'm seeing Little Mac, but with springy arms. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like very ground based character, but long range arms. I think it's just they gotta do it. They gotta promote that IP a little more, and putting a character in Smash is the perfect way for them to do that. So other than Nintendo characters, what third-party game characters do you have? What might we see? Yeah, so this is really interesting. Nintendo always brings in characters from other series besides Nintendo. I think that we're going to see maybe the Knight from Dark Souls. Because Dark Souls was a big announcement for them on Switch. So we might see that. We already have the amiibo as well. Right. For me, I think we're going to see Crash. Yeah, that would be super interesting. Platforming legend, Crash Bandicoot, for all of you that... I can't imagine anyone not knowing Crash, but it makes sense since Crash
the trilogy, the Insanity trilogy is coming. And also, I think we might see Banjo.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, has even tweeted before that he would love to see Banjo-Kazooie on.
Both of those characters would be amazing. And not Banjo, but Crash would be so weird to see fighting Nintendo characters, because for a long time, Crash has been the PlayStation mascot. They were, I mean, back in the early 2000s. It would be so funny to see him in Smash. I would love that.
Mario, Pac-Man, Sonic, Crash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mega Man.
I think that we might see Sora from Kingdom Hearts, which is really exciting. I think that might be my number one hope for a third-party character, because I could see the moveset. Like, it just screams Smash Brothers to me. So hopefully we see Sora, and we'll just have to wait and see.
And it's definitely possible, considering we had Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII as DLC on Smash 4, which kind of told Smash fans anything's possible.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say Sora's not possible, because he is.
Definitely possible.
But also I think they're going to expand the Xenoblade universe. We already have Shulk.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to pull Shulk and put Rex, I think is the character from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I wonder if they're going to replace Shulk with Rex, or if they'll have them side by side.
I think it would be good to have them side by side.
Personally, I want to see Shulk out of Smash. Shulk just gets on my nerves, but that's a discussion for another day.
Right.
Lastly, for me, I think we might see Steve from Minecraft. Minecraft is such a big franchise. I think that would pull a lot of a younger audience into Smash, which, of course, Nintendo is always trying to bring new audiences to their games. I think Steve would be a perfect way of doing that. And indie games.
Yes.
Indie games have been barreling onto the scene. Do you think we're going to see indie characters in this new Smash Bros. Game?
I think now is the time to start adding them in. And one that personally I want to see is Shovel Knight.
Yes. So I wonder if they're going to bring them in. There is a game that is being developed by Nicholas, Blade Strangers, and it's bringing a whole bunch of indie characters together to fight. So I wonder if maybe that is the platform for indie characters. I personally would love to see an indie character represented in Super Smash Bros. For Switch. I think it should be Shovel Knight 2, but we'll just have to wait and see if Nintendo takes them up on that. I mean, indie games are smaller and they're more niche, but I would love to see it represented. Another indie character that I would love to see, actually two of them, Sans and Papyrus from Undertale. I actually had a dream about them being in Smash. So I would love to see them in Smash. Maybe as a duo character, kind of like...
I could see that working.
Like Ice Climbers, yeah. So we'll just have to wait and see if indie support is given to Smash. And, of course, this is all just predictions. We will find out officially from Nintendo what we're getting in a few weeks. So that is what we know is coming to E3, Smash Bros. Nintendo is saying heavily, we are going to be talking about Smash Bros. Let's get into what we don't know. Let's get into our E3 predictions for the video presentation.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see Doom 2.
Right.
And my reasoning for that is id, a developer from id recently said that this year, a game that recently got a remake is going to get a sequel. And it only makes sense that it's Doom.
Yeah, and I think that they will announce Doom 2 day and date for the Nintendo Switch hardware. I think that it needs to be. They need to release it on the same day. I would buy it on Switch for sure if they release it on the same day.
Doom is amazing.
Yeah. And they set Doom up, no spoilers, but the ending of Doom totally sets up for Doom 2. So I totally agree. We might see that at E3 and maybe even in the Nintendo video presentation, because Doom was one of the first big third-party games to come to Switch. So
that is true. And in light of Bethesda, while we're on
the topic of
same topic, I'm excited to see Bethesda to hopefully announce their new IP. I want to see more about this. It's only just been speculation recently, but as far as I know, it's going to be a space-related RPG game.
Yeah, and this is Bethesda Game Studios, the same company that brought you Skyrim, Fallout 4. Now they are supposedly working on, like you said, a space Bethesda game, which just sounds amazing to me. Apparently under the name Starfield.
Yeah.
It sounds Bethesda. It sounds great. I'm just stoked to see what they are bringing to the table with a potential space game. Any more third-party predictions, I think that we might see Borderlands 3, maybe even on Switch.
Yeah, I think it might be possible to see Borderlands 3, but I know they might have been working on it for quite some time. So who knows if we're going to get the same day as the other
that's
consoles.
true. It might be a port later on for the Nintendo Switch. Any last third parties before we hit the Nintendos?
That's all I got over here.
All right, so let's get right into our Nintendo predictions. So I think that we are going to see Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, it just makes so much sense that Nintendo would finally bring this series over to the Switch. There are a couple of things that kind of lead me to this.
Well, we saw the mobile game.
Right.
And they had the Mario mobile game.
Yep.
Then a few months later, they announced Mario Odyssey.
Yep.
And now, as around Thanksgiving time, they released the Animal Crossing game.
Yeah.
So I think that...
And also, not to mention, the Fire Emblem game preceded the Fire Emblem announcement. So Nintendo seems to be having this trend where they have their mobile games and then they have the announcements for the new games. So that's why I think that's one of the reasons why I think we might see Animal Crossing at this year's E3.
So this can work in both ways as well. As you could see, it's either an ingenious marketing tactic to kind of almost like a in-depth survey. Are people downloading this game? Are people enjoying it?
Yeah, getting
so this game's worth
the name out there, getting Animal Crossing out there, and then now we're gonna announce the real game. Maybe that will pull people into buying a Switch. I think it's definitely possible. Animal Crossing is a huge system seller. Another reason, just really quick, that I think Animal Crossing might be there is because the websites have recently been updated with placeholder videos that are just Breath of the Wild videos, but that makes a lot of people think that those placeholders will be replaced by the new announcement videos. So we might see it because of that. And also, it's been 6 years since we saw an Animal Crossing game. So, and they're traditionally launched in November. I think we're going to see Animal Crossing.
Right.
On to you. What is your Nintendo prediction?
I think we're going to see some Metroid Prime 4.
Okay.
In the Direct a few months back, we saw...
Well, this was E3 actually, right? It was E3 last year.
Yeah, E3 last year. My bad, guys. We just saw a logo.
Yeah, they put up the logo of Metroid Prime 4. Even though it was a logo, that was enough to set the internet ablaze, and people freaked.
Yeah. They could take a gap year like they did with Zelda a few years back, but I think we deserve to see a little more.
I think
a little more.
I think we deserve to see a little more. I am going to disagree with you, though. I think that we are not going to see Metroid Prime 4, and I think it is going to take the gap year that Zelda took, mainly because I don't think they're that far into development yet. So maybe they're going to wait until they can show us a lot of the game. Mm-hmm. But I will say that I do think we're going to get something Metroid at the presentation, and I think it's going to be a Metroid Prime trilogy remastered.
Do you think that'll be on one? Do you think they'll set it up like how they had Bayonetta 1 and 2 coming to the Switch?
I think that it'll be all in one.
Okay.
I think that it'll be the full trilogy remastered for Switch, and I think the reason that they'll announce this is to create the hype for Metroid Prime 4, and also to give players that didn't play the Metroid Prime games, actually like myself,
Same here.
I played Metroid Prime, not all of it. I actually never beat Metroid Prime. I think it'll give people like us the chance to play Metroid Prime before the 4th installment. I think that they will announce that instead. That way also we're still getting our Metroid fix without necessarily seeing 4. But that's just my prediction.
Regardless, I do hope we see that Metroid trilogy remaster.
Yeah, I hope that we see Metroid in some form at E3, and I think we will. Another one of mine is I think that we're going to see Super Mario Odyssey DLC.
Yeah. It's just like how they had with Breath of the Wild. They might do a seasonal thing.
Yeah.
Some new places to go, like...
yeah, new worlds for sure. Yeah.
They might have a Luigi's Mansion one.
Yeah, so this has actually been rumored that they might be developing a Luigi's Mansion level for Mario, and this is pretty interesting considering that there wasn't a mansion level.
Yeah, for those of you hardcore Mario players, we all know there's usually a mansion level with ghosts, with booze.
Yeah, the booze.
And that just wasn't here in Odyssey.
Right. And the seasonal thing is, maybe we might have a Thanksgiving
Yeah.
world. Maybe we'll have a Christmas world, and that way they can like layer them and release them like maybe once a month. I think that this will happen. I will say though, it's not necessarily what I want to see. I would rather see them work on Odyssey 2.
Yeah, but you know they just released Mario Odyssey 2 or the first Mario Odyssey.
Right. I don't think that we'll see an announcement for Odyssey 2. I would just rather see them working on it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think they might end up doing what they do with Galaxy 1 updates, Galaxy 2, which was phenomenal.
Right. Yeah. They took the Galaxy formula and just made it more hardcore, more tight. And yeah, so personally, that's what I want to see. I want to see an Odyssey 2 that kind of does that same thing. Any more Nintendo predictions from your end?
Nope.
Well, I have one more actually, and this one's a given. We are going to see Fire Emblem for the Switch.
Oh, yes.
For sure, they've already announced this game. Did they announce it last year at E3?
They might have.
Yeah, it was last year at E3 or maybe a direct following it. But yeah, either way, they've announced Fire Emblem for Switch for this year. Pretty much lock it in, 100% confirmation we're going to see Fire Emblem. So,
do you think we're going to see a new Pikmin?
I think no. So this is interesting. I would love to see new Pikmin, but
I would too. For those of you who have not played Pikmin, pick it up on the Wii U. Pikmin 3 was great.
yeah, great game.
It's a original of Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yep. And Pikmin 3, well, with the Pikmin franchise, Shigeru Miyamoto actually said that Pikmin 4 was done and it was ready to be released. But then Hey Pikmin was announced and released. So a lot of people thought, okay, maybe they were talking about Hey Pikmin, not a traditional Pikmin 4. Hey Pikmin was a game on Nintendo 3DS, 2D side-scrolling game. I don't think we'll see it, but I would love to see it, yeah. There is one studio, though, that we have not talked about yet, and that's Retro Studios.
Yes,
What are they
we have
working
not talked
on?
about Retro. Well, actually, they're working on Cranky Kong DLC.
Oh, right, yes. DLC for Tropical Freeze, right?
Yeah, no.
That one Donkey
Guys,
Kong
don't
game,
worry. Seeing as Retro takes really long to come out with games,
Oh, yeah.
don't worry, it's just DLC.
It's totally DLC, and I think this is what I want to see. You know?
And actually, the rumors about Star Fox, it's Star Fox Cranky Kong DLC. So
Yeah.
Fox comes down on the Landmaster
Right,
and just
right.
runs over King Cake Rule.
Yep,
This
kills
is,
him.
Yeah, kills him instantly. But it's actually his dad, you find out. So this is Cranky Kong backstory. And we find out who Donkey
I
Kong's
didn't think about-
mom
yeah,
is.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So we're
Cranky
all really
Kong's
excited
mom,
for
yeah,
that.
it was Cranky-
No, it's Donkey Kong's mom.
Oh, Donkey Kong's mom. Oh, yes. Who do you think it's going to be?
I think it's definitely going to be Pauline's mom.
Pauline's mom?
Yeah,
So
and-
Pauline and Donkey Kong are related.
Yeah, and that's going to be
You
really
heard
weird
it
for
here,
Donkey Kong.
folks. This is...
I'm locking it
lock
down. It's 100% confirmed.
100% confirmed, yeah.
But seriously,
But on a more serious note, Retro Studios, just real quick here. I know we are reaching our hour limit here. But Retro Studios is the studios that brought us the Metroid Prime trilogy. They brought us one of the best platformers of all time, Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. They are a super talented studios
Really
that
talented.
Nintendo has, and they're based out of Texas. For 4 or 5 years now, they have been working on a game, and I feel like every time there's a Direct, every time there's an E3, I'm just thinking, what is Retro working on? What are they going to show? Are we finally going to see it? I think this is the year.
yeah, speculation has shown it might be a Star Fox spin-off game.
Right.
But
And that, yeah, a recent leak showed, what was it called? Star Fox Grand Prix.
yes, so
So,
Star Fox racing game.
A Star Fox racing game, yeah. The interesting thing with this is they've been working on a game for 4 or 5 years. It seems like Star Fox Racing is a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think it will be.
you don't think it will be? Okay.
No, I don't think it will.
I think it has a decent chance just because the leak, they showed a logo of, you know, anybody could have made that
Yeah.
logo. We'll just have to wait and see. But were rumors that maybe Retro Studios was working on another game and then it got canceled. And then they were put on this Star Fox project.
Yeah.
So,
But also with that, I feel like they wouldn't say, "Oh, it's been 4 years." They might have came out and said, "This game we've been working on has only been a year and a half, 2.5 years."
yeah, they might say that. And maybe they're working on 2 games. Either way, what I want to see from Retro Studios is a new IP. They are such a talented studio that I want to see them, the chains taken off, just run wild, do your thing, make a new creative IP from the ground up. I think Retro Studios deserves it. They've proved themselves, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah, and pick up that new Donkey Kong game, guys. Well, it's not new, it's been ported, but
the port
definitely
on
pick
Switch.
it up.
I am definitely going to be picking it up really soon. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is one of the best platformers ever made. So yeah, pick it up if you have a Switch. You're definitely missing out if you don't have that one.
And I believe that's all the time we have today.
Yeah, I think it is.
So thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we're really excited to start doing this. Talktendo it's going to keep coming.
Yeah, it's going to keep coming. Definitely stay tuned. 2 weeks, we should have our first Talktendo Select episode, so be on the lookout for that. And also just a quick shout out and a thank you to Connor. He made our intro that you heard before the podcast began. And
Thank you, Connor.
Yeah, thank you so much. You're actually going to hear it right here as an outro as well again. Thank you so much, Connor, for making that for us.
And we'll be seeing you guys. So goodbye, all my Talk 10 dudes and Talk 10 dudettes.
Nice.